Today I have for you 32 Dollar Tree peel and stick hacks you're going to love, and they're each under 10 minutes. Let's get started. We're going to start with this wood round. You can find these at Dollar Tree pretty much year round. We're going to remove the juice string from it and just lightly sand it, dust it really well. I'm going to give it one coat of this beautiful sandstone tone by Waverly. Once dry, lightly sanded, dusted, and we're going to start with this gorgeous Believe wall decal. So I'm going to remove the little floral portion of it because I'm only going to need the Believe. So all I did was I used my X-Acto knife and cut around it. That way I can reuse the florals in another project. All right, so I'm just going to set it right there in the center. Then we're going to cut off the X's. These decals are pretty new to my Dollar Tree, but let me tell you, these peonies are gorgeous. I'm going to remove it just like a sticker, and I'm just going to move it around until I find a good spot for it. I'm going to flip it over, cut off the X's from the edge using my X-Acto knife. Then I'm going to bring in the white one, and I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to remove it just like a sticker, and then we're going to move it around, just kind of see where I want to place it. And then when you find the spot, always remember you can cut off whatever is not working well. In this case, this leaf was covering the L, so I just removed that and then removed a little bit on the other side. Now I'm going to take the excess portion and I'm going to reuse it on the little portion there that is bare. Perfect and so easy. Now it also brought these little tiny flower stickers and leaves. I'm just going to use them here and there to fill in. So once I have those in place, I'm going to sand down those edges. Now I know I did cut them with my X-Acto knife, but when you sand down, it removes, you see that? A tiny little bit of portion that it was just not close enough to the edge, and sanding it down really makes it flush and smooth to that edge. This has never happened to me before, my friend. The back portion of the wood round came off. Now here's the thing, it made it very thin, and so it also curved it on me. So what I'm going to do, I am going to place these paint sticks. I'm going to cut them to size, and I'm just going to hot glue them and just press it down. Hold it until it hardens. This worked like magic. So if this happens to you, it's never happened to me before, but there's always a first time, right? This is how I fixed it, and it worked really well. So now that it's time to just add something to hang it, and of course we got to bring in, the white nautical rope from Dollar Tree. Hot glue it to the back, and that's it. You can add whatever else you want. I could have added greenery to the top, but I wanted to keep it on the simple side. I think this is stunning. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to bring in one of these flat canvases from Dollar Tree. They are perfect for crafts. They are 11 by 14. I'm going to use this beautiful moss green by Waverly. I'm going to do 1.5 coats, just basically a full coat and then a little bit here and there where it needed it. Let it dry. Now we're going to sand it in both directions, both sideways and long ways. And this is just going to give it a distressed look, but it almost looks like fabric. I'm going to wipe it really, really well because we want to use these beautiful decals. This design is gorgeous. Again, just pull it off just like a sticker and place them wherever you want. Now, I wanted this sign to have a little bit more of a modern look, so I'm just going to kind of place them in different directions. You're going to see me here play around with it just a bit. Once I had that last one, I'm just going to place it there kind of sideways and then flatten it out with my hand. Flip it over, and again, we're just going to cut off that excess with my X-Acto knife. Again, we want to sand down those edges to make sure they're nice and flush to the edge, and they're not going to pull off or fray on me. Then we are going to add one more detail. Now, this decal has a golden tone to it. I'm going to add some gold flakes. Now, if you've never worked with gold flakes, it is messy, but it is so fun and adds so much character. I'm going to add hot glue around those golden circles, and while it's still a little tacky, I'm going to add the flakes. Now work a little fast here because it will dry up on you, and I did the same thing on all designs where there was a circle. Once I kind of had it where I wanted, I'm just going to bring in a dry brush and just start brushing off the excess. You can later on add more if you want, but I thought for this one, I want to keep it on the simple. Sometimes you just really have to know when to stop and I just felt in my heart I needed to stop, and I'm so glad I did. This is such a beautiful wall decor. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with one of these wood planks. I am sure you've seen these before. I have worked with them many times. Great for crafting. I'm going to remove the string. And again, we got to lightly sand them. I'm just going to sand the front and the back and then dust them really well. For this one, we're going to go with white. You know I love white. But first, we got to clean up these little holes. So I'm just going to add a little bit of spackle to the holes just so that it fills them in and you don't see them. This is Waverly Chalk Paint in the white, and I'm just going to do one coat and let it fully dry. Once dry, we're going to bring in my sanding block once again. We're just going to sand it down smooth, wipe it really, really well. And then this beautiful decal is one of my favorites. It's based on the scripture Philippians 4:6, where it says, don't worry about anything, but pray about everything. So I'm going to use it. I'm going to center it right there. And then at first I thought I wanted to split the don't worry about anything. And I'm just going to add 2 on one side and 2 on the other. I did change my mind, and you're going to see that here in just a minute. And that's okay. These decals actually stick really well, but they're easily removed and you can place them anywhere else. So you're going to see here, I'm just going to add the anything and the about, and then I'm just going to move the other 2 to the other side because I just felt like it flowed better. Now the other side is a little bit bare, so I thought let me add a little bundle of flowers. So I just grabbed some little picks that I had here and there from other projects. I'm just gonna bundle them up using some jute string, tie it around, hot glue it in place, and then add that excess little flower to the side. And of course, we got to add something to hang it from. You can add whatever you want. I'm just going to use the leftover nautical rope from earlier, and look how gorgeous this is. I'm going to gift this one to my mom, and I love the way it turned out, but I'd love to know what you think of it. Let me know. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with one of these wooden hearts from Dollar Tree. Now, you can find these during the Valentine's Day season, and this decal is stunning. It's a heart-shaped succulent, and it had these beautiful pastel colors. And what a perfect way to use these decals for this wooden heart. Now, you can use this just by itself, and I thought it would be gorgeous to do so, but I just wanted the 3D heart effect kind of thing. So I'm just going to sand down the edges, again using my sanding block. It just really leaves smooth edges, but you can also use the X-Acto knife or your blade knife. It's up to you. I'm going to use another one of those flat canvases from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to hot glue the heart towards the left side. Now, this is another decal that I had left over from another project. I'm going to use that it says be grateful. I'm going to do it on a long ways. So vertically, I'm going to place it on the right side of the board. I'm going to cut off any excess as needed with my X-Acto knife, and then I'm going to hot glue the heart on the left side. To be able to hang this one, I'm just going to use this beautiful teal ribbon from Dollar Tree. I'm going to tape it in place, and look how stunning this looks. I love the colors. I love the simplicity. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. So we're going to start using some of these with one of these circles that I found at the Dollar Tree several months back. I already used one of them, but I'm going to remove one more, and we are going to then take everything from it, including the staples. We're just going to sand it down just a little bit, the edges, and roughen up the front to make sure it'll adhere to the vinyl. We're going to wipe it well, and then we're going to use some of Dollar Tree vinyls you can find year-round in different colors and even textures. We're going to take a pink one that I have at home, and I'm going to cover it up. This pink vinyl is pretty light, so you can see the design underneath. So I did have to put 3 layers of vinyl and then sand down the edges. You can also cut it with an X-Acto knife, but I have found that sanding it in a downward motion really removes that vinyl and it smooths down the edges. So I'm just going to add the third one and do the same thing. These beautiful stickers have a rounded look to them. I love using these, and it already has a little sticky pad to the back. You can always add a little bit of hot glue. It'll stick just perfectly to the vinyl. And now we're going to bring in this yarn. I found this recently at Walmart. I'm going to roll it around one of these scrapers because we're going to create a little tassel. Then I'm going to take another piece of the yarn, thread it through underneath, kind of like in between the yarn, and then we're just going to tie it in the knot. Once you have it tied in a knot, then we're going to take another piece of yarn and we're going to tie it, leaving it about maybe an inch from the top. And that way we're going to create a nice shape of a tassel. Then we're going to open up all the little circles, just the little ones on the bottom, and then cut everything so that each of them have the same length. That's it. Now we're going to take that remaining yarn from the top and we're going to thread it through a wood bead. I push the bead all the way to the top of the tassel, and then we are going to place it on the back of the wood round. We're going to hot glue it in place, but I decided to add more tape. This is just by preference. I think the hot glue would have been sufficient, but just to make sure, I did add some tape. Now we're going to thread more beads to the top portion, but you see these here. Now this came from the original piece that I used. I'm just going to remove those because they have different shapes. And I'm going to add one more larger bead, and I thought it was so cute. I'm going to start with the largest one, thread the yarn through, and then move on to the medium size and then the two small ones. And then we're just going to tie it in the knot on the top, and that's it. Such an easy craft. This would be great hanging on a door handle or even just placing it on a console table. What do you think of this one? Let me know. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I'm going to start with this beautiful pink jar. I'm also going to use a piece of dowel that I already had at home. This foam is from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start cutting it in a round shape, wide enough so that it fits to the top of the jar, but not too small where it's going to fall through. Once I have the shape, I am going to poke the dowel right through the foam and then place it inside the jar, and then just kind of tightening down and really wedging that foam inside. I secured everything with hot glue, that way it's not going to move on me. Now I'm going to take a foam ball. You can find these at Dollar Tree. They come 2 in a pack. I'm going to poke it right onto the opposite side of the dowel. Once I had it where I poked it, then I'm going to remove it and I'm going to add hot glue and place it right back on. Again, this is just going to allow it to really stick together. I'm going to take some reindeer moss from Dollar Tree and we're going to cover the entire ball by simply adding hot glue and then adding the moss. And then we're going to find some florals. Now these I had at home. These are from previous seasons from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut them and I'm going to start placing them. At first I thought I would add different types of flowers. So I'm going to show you the entire process, but I actually ended up removing these. But again, I just want to show you. So these are the ones that I'm actually going to stick with, but these are a beautiful coral tone. They really pull with that pink jar. I think it's gorgeous. I'm just going to cut them and just start placing them inside the foam. This is when I decided to just remove them. I grabbed another pick with the same flower tones and I'm just going to start again, continuing to add them here and there. I'm not worried about it being completely covered because I do like the way that moss kind of looks. I'm going to take some jute string and I'm just going to wrap it around 4 of my fingers. I'm going to tie it in the center with another piece of jute string. And then we're going to create a very country kind of style bow, fluff it up a little bit and just tie it around the neck of the bottom of the dowel. This beautiful sticker set is from Dollar Tree. I already had it on hand. I'm going to use this one right here. I think it's gorgeous. It has the pink undertones that really pull from the entire design. And it has 2 stickies in the back. And we're just going to place it right in the front. I'm going to add some greenery leaves. These are just from the picks that I had on hand. I'm just hot gluing them to where the bow ends. And that way it's just going to cover up any glue and the foam from the jar. Look how gorgeous this is. It's one of my favorites. But let me know what you think. We are going to start with this wooden flower that you can find at Dollar Tree currently. I'm going to remove the jute string from it, and then we're going to lightly sand the surface. Nothing too hard, just to remove any roughness. And then we want to wipe it really, really well to make sure that the peel and stick tile is going to stick to the surface. This first tile we're going to use has a beautiful design already as is, but we are going to be painting it here in just a minute. The way they work is basically you just peel off the back and you stick them like a sticker. It's so easy. Now I am going to patch this up and add several of them. So I'm just going to add the first one all the way to where it covers an entire section of the flower. I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and I am going to cut off any excess tile. Once I have it separated, I'm going to use the other end to just kind of place it where I need to so that the design aligns perfectly, or at least as close as perfect. Then I'm going to keep doing the same thing, cutting off and adding from a second tile so that the entire surface is covered. And we are just going to flatten it out and smooth out those edges. I'm going to use my sanding block and I'm just going to sand downward. This is going to remove any excess paper from the sides and also smooth them out. I'm just going to roughen up the surface just to take a little bit of the sheen off, and we're going to give it 2 coats of Waverly chalk paint in the white. You can use as many as you need. We are going to lightly distress it once it's dry, so I'm not looking for perfection. This tiny little grapevine wreath I get on Amazon, and they come a ton in a little pack. Now this is a bag that I have with tons of little greenery parts that just fall off of bigger pigs. I'm going to take several and we are going to create a tiny little mini wreath. I'm going to hot glue these little pieces all around the tiny grapevine. Now that the flower is fully dry, I'm going to lightly sand the surface. I don't want to remove a lot of the paint. I just want some of that textured design to really pop. So I'm just going to use my sanding block and sand in a circular motion until I see enough through. I'm going to wipe it and dust it really well. And then we are going to take some burlap ribbon and cut off several pieces. It was a little too thick, so I'm just going to cut off pieces that are about an inch thick. With one of them, I am going to make a very simple bow, tie it in the center with some jute string, and then we are going to cut off the excess and we are going to hot glue it to the top of the wreath. How cute! Now we're going to take the other piece and we're going to hot glue it to the back of the wreath. This is so that we can hang the entire piece from it. We're going to add hot glue to the wreath and then place it right in the center. We're also going to hot glue the burlap ribbon onto the flower. I'm going to add these cute little white flowers right in the center to finish everything off. And look how stunning this is. You can use any color combination you want, but I love this one. What do you think? Let me know. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take 4 of these wooden hearts from Dollar Tree. You can find them currently in their Valentine's Day section. I'm going to remove everything from it, the little hanging plastic piece, as well as the sticker from the back. I did the same thing to the rest of them, and then we're going to lightly sand these as well. We're just going to remove any rough surface. We're going to do the edges and the top. And then, of course, we want to wipe them well because we want to make sure that the peel and stick tile is going to stick very nicely. For these, we are going to use these silver ones that are gorgeous. We're going to remove the back and we're going to place them right on top. Now, I can only do 2 full ones, so we're just going to place them on opposite ends. And then we're going to use my blade knife once again to remove the excess. I'm going to do the same thing to the other 2. The way these hearts are shaped is that they have a curve on the outside, so it's not a straight edge. So once I cut off the excess tile on the other 2, we are going to sand it down, but this time we're going to sand it down using my electric sander. This is going to remove all that excess paper, and it's going to do 2 things. It's going to give me a smooth edge, but it's also going to distress those edges very nicely. And look how cute that looks. So distressed, so smooth edges. Love it. We're going to leave the wood tone as is. I did the same thing to the other 3, and now they all look pretty closely similar. We're going to take some Dollar Tree Valentine's Day ribbon. This one has a burlap style to it with little tiny red hearts. Gorgeous. All right, I'm going to line up all the hearts vertically, and then I'm going to cut off a piece of the ribbon that I think is going to go well. Make sure that the hearts of the ribbon as well as the hearts match the direction. Now we're going to hot glue the ribbon to the back of the heart, and I am going to leave 1 inch in between each heart.
Tell your friends that this might take some time and you'll be back another day. I can see us breaking down the barrier. Oh,
At the top, we are going to loop the ribbon, hot gluing it in place, and this is where we can then hang it. Dollar Tree currently carries these little felt hearts and they are stickers. They're really nice for crafting. I'm going to take 4 of them of the larger size because they come in different sizes and different colors. We're going to take 4 of the red ones, remove the back, and place them directly in the center. This is going to really make everything pop. It's going to complement the ribbon and it's just going to look nice and festive. Now that everything looks very nicely, we are going to add some greenery. I've had this pick for a while and I'm just going to start cutting it. I believe I got it maybe at the store at home. I don't remember. It's been with me for a while, so I'm just going to cut off a few little branches, hot glue them to the top of each heart, making sure that each of them are facing opposite ways. Now to cover up the little cutout stem and some of the glue, I'm just going to add a tiny little leaf right in the front of each one. This is going to clean it up and make it look very nice and professional. Love the way this one turned out. It's one of my favorites. I love the festivity of it, but yet so simple. Let me know what you think. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we are going to take one of these circles from this arrangement. I've used the other 2 and I have this one left over. I'm going to remove the paper covering from it and I'm going to lightly sand it just to remove and soften everything out. We're going to use this beautiful tile from Dollar Tree and it has a bluish kind of silver tone to it. Again, we're just going to remove the back and we're going to place it right on top. We're going to take my blade knife once again, remove the excess, and then we're going to sand down those edges as well as roughen up the surface. That way it's just going to be able to adhere to the paint very nicely. We're going to put that to the side to dry. And we're going to take one of these tiny little mini wreaths from Dollar Tree. They come 2 in a pack, and we're just going to need one for today. We're also going to take this beautiful buffalo check red and white style ribbon from their Valentine's Day collection. We're going to wrap the entire wreath with it, securing it in the beginning and at the end with some hot glue. Once the ribbon was securely in place, I'm just going to cut off the excess and we're going to bring in some foam from Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut off a piece, maybe about 1 inch thick, and we're going to poke 2 holes and thread some pipe cleaner through it. We're going to add hot glue to the right side of the wreath and we're going to add it and then tie it in the back. This is because we're going to add some florals and I want something to be able to hang on to that floral. I'm going to cut off the excess pipe cleaner and then we're going to add the circle piece right onto it. We are going to distress it first. Again, we're going to do the same thing we did earlier. Lightly distress it to reveal some of that texture. Hot glue it to the foam. And then we're going to add more of that greenery pick that we added earlier, where these are little larger branches. We're going to add it right onto the foam behind the wooden round. Beautiful. All right, so now we're going to add one of these love pieces that you can find at Dollar Tree currently. It's a wood cutout and it has a kind of like a glittery golden tone. It is gorgeous. I used one recently and I love it. They come 3 in a pack. We're going to hot glue it right onto the center of the circle. Now, I do want to add some more of those felt hearts, but this time we're going to add small ones. We're going to have 4 of them, just tilt them in different directions, and one of them is going to overlap the edge. We're just going to cut off the excess, and I think it just added beautiful color tone to it. Now, I do want to add some white little flowers. I just felt like it was missing something. So I'm just going to add one from the front and the bottom, and I think it turned out absolutely gorgeous. You can add this to a cabinet door, to a door, to wherever you want. What do you think of this one? For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with this wooden round. Now, you can use Dollar Tree's wooden rounds, but this one I got a long time ago at the Target Dollar Spa, and it's a little thicker and it's double-sided. We're going to paint the front side. This is a wooden tone one with some Rust-Oleum chalk paint and the linen white. I'm going to do a couple of coats. Once it was dry, I'm going to take this beautiful tile from Dollar Tree. We're going to place it right in the center. It has a beautiful design of a butterfly, and I love the colors. It's going to stick it right in the center, and then we're going to make a little swag for the top. We're going to use some of this greenery. I believe this one is also from At Home, and then some purple flowers from Dollar Tree. We're just going to take a few branches of each, join them together with some white jute string, and then we're just going to attach it to the top of the butterfly by stapling it. The wood round is thick enough that it does allow for staples to be attached and not go through it. Now we're going to add a beautiful sunflower right in the center. It's just going to make everything pop and truly bring everything together. And then add some jute string right there to the top so that we can hang it. And that's it. What a gorgeous wood round. So easy, so beautifully designed. Love the way this one turned out. Let me know what you think. I'm going to take another craft paper from another book. We're going to start cutting it. Okay, so I want to cut them in 2.5 inches wide. Now the first one, I don't know why I cut it into 3 inches. So just cut it in 2.5. It makes for a much better size bookmark, but you can do it whatever you want. We're going to make some bookmarks. I love making bookmarks because they're easy, versatile, and are great for gift giving and actually as party favors. So once I cut them all into 2.5 inches wide, I did cut them into 8 inches long, and then I marked where I wanted to cut on the edges at the top just to angle them. For the first bookmark, I'm going to take these flower stickers. They are gorgeous. They'll be great for spring and summer, and I'm just going to start placing different colors, different sizes in different places. Now, if they overlap the edges, you can either leave like that, but I decided to cut them and clean it up really well. I'm going to take this beautiful jute string. It's like a baker's twine, actually. I'm just going to tie it again around my fingers, and then we're going to make a very simple bow, fluff it up, and then we are going to place more string right through the hole that we punched in the top and hot glue the little bow right in front. So cute. All right, for the next one, we're going to flip it over, and we're going to use the dark side. These stickers are gorgeous. I've used it in the past. They have this beautiful flower arrangement one. We're going to place it right towards the bottom left corner of the bookmark. Now I had a butterfly left over. It had a metallic finish. I tilted it to the top, and isn't that gorgeous? Oh my. All right, I'm going to take some of this white jute string from Amazon. I'm going to make another very simple bow, wrap it around, scrunch it in the middle, tie it with more jute string, and then we are going to thread more string through the hole, tie it in the knot, and then hot glue the bow right underneath. So simple, so easy, and so beautiful. For the third bookmark, we're going to make a fun one. We're going to take this beautiful sticker set. We are going to place the little banner. We're going to cut it in half, and we're going to tilt them one to each side, and it's going to look so cute. Then we're going to take the Be Happy sticker, place it in the middle, and then some flower ones through the bottom. For this one, we're going to take some black jute string. We're going to do the same thing, my friends. We're just going to roll it around, tie it in the center with some jute string, cut off any excess. Again, punch a hole to the top, thread more jute string through it, make a knot, and then hot glue the bow. We're going to keep them pretty simple, but also similar to each other. I mentioned earlier this would make a great party favor. I think it would make a fantastic party favor. You can personalize them in the back. How fun. For the last one, this one is perfect for those guys in your lives. We are going to just make it very simple on the dark side again. This beautiful sticker has a farmhouse look. That's all we're going to put on it. We're going to take some black jute string, some white jute string, as well as some natural tone jute string. And we are going to thread it through the hole. We're not even going to make a bow, friends. We're just going to tie it in the knot, keep it simple and very kind of like manly, you know. And then we're just going to, again, cut off any excess from the jute string, and that's it. These bookmarks are gorgeous. You can gift them as a set, or you can gift them individually, or keep them for yourself, whatever you want. Definitely one of my favorites, but what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. Dollar Tree DIY craft. We're going to start with one of these wooden hearts from Dollar Tree. You can find these during the Valentine's Day season. I'm going to remove the jute string, and we're going to give it one coat of Waverly chalk paint in the white. We're going to put that to the side, let it dry. We're going to take a couple of these wood slices that I do get on Amazon and the pink tone glittery sheet. I'm going to trace this X and O right on it. These are just some letters that I have on hand, and then we're going to cut them using my X-Acto knife. Once I have them cut, it's as easy as peeling the back like a sticker and placing one in each wood slice. Now that the wooden heart is dry, we're just going to plank it. We're going to take a permanent marker and a ruler and just start adding planks. You can skip this part, but I just thought it added a nice touch and just kind of texture and look. I'm going to dry brush some antiquing wax. This is Waverly antiquing wax. I'm just going to dry brush this on the edges. Take your time. I'm also going to distress it just a little bit here and there, and then sand it down just to mute it and really blend it in. We're going to wipe it well, and then we're going to take a permanent marker. This is a thicker one. We're going to line the edges. This is just going to add dimension to the heart. Now, I did mess up right there. You see how I went inwards? Don't worry if you do that. All I did was I basically filled it in and added more of a little bit of a heavier distress to it. It actually worked out really well. I added a few more just to complement that one. And so I think I like the way it turned out. So if you do that, don't panic. Just fill it in. There it is. How cute. All right, we're going to hot glue each wood slice towards the left side of the heart, one on top of each other, spelling the phrase XO. And then we're going to grab some of these beautiful purple, kind of like a deep pink flowers from Dollar Tree. We're going to make a little bundle with some jute string, hot glue it to the right side of the heart, right there. Now we're going to take some Dollar Tree nautical rope. We're going to make a faux knot. We're just going to make a knot very tightly, cut off the excess from the top and the bottom, and hot glue it to the front, just like that. We're going to do it again for the other side. Again, just make a very tight knot, remove the top and the bottom excess rope, and hot glue it to the top. Very easy. Then we're going to add more rope to the back. This is just going to make it seem like it's hanging through the knots, but really it's not. It's such an easy way to hang your signs. All right, I added hot glue, but I'm also going to add a little bit of masking tape just to add more security. And look how gorgeous this looks. You can use any color combinations you want. Love, love, love the way this turned out, but let me know what you think. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with this wooden stake. I found this in the garden center at the hardware store. It has a stake-like look on one side, but it's flat on the other side. And I thought, how perfect, and it was really inexpensive. I'm going to cut a few pieces off of it. One's going to be about 3 inches, the other one about 4 inches, and then about 4.5 to 5 inches. I just want all of them to have different sizes. I'm going to sand them down just a little bit to remove any splinters and wipe them really well. Then I'm going to paint them white, but I'm also going to give it a distressed look. I'm going to give it a heavy dry brush and just going to add some white paint, but make it look like it's a little bit distressed. I'm going to put that to the side for a few minutes to dry, and then we're going to bring in my shape puncher. Look how cute these are. I love these. They come in different shapes like a heart, star, flowers, snowflake, you name it. I got this on Amazon, and it is in my Amazon store if you want to check it out. I'm going to punch 3 of them just to have an extra one just in case I need it. But look how cool. You just literally punch it, open the bottom, and there's your little sticker. How fun. You can also use the actual cutout as part of another craft. So it's up to you. I'm going to hot glue 2 pieces together and make a bundle of 2, or 2 bundles of 2. There you go. And then we're going to place a little heart right there in the center of each one. Then we're going to take some jute string and we're going to wrap it around each bundle. You don't have to wrap it around a lot because you don't want to cover the heart. Just make a very simple knot and make sure that the jute string excess, the strings just lay flat to the front. That's it. Very easy. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side as well. Now we want this to look like little people hugging. So I'm going to bring in these little wood beads and we're going to hot glue them to the top, and that's going to be their heads. Now I left them in the bare wood. I thought it contrasted very nicely, but you can add color if you'd like. It's completely up to you. I thought this was such a cute craft. I was inspired by what I saw on Pinterest. Love the look, love the colors, and I love how fresh and beautiful it is. What do you think of this one? For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with one of these glass cutting boards. You can find these at Dollar Tree, and they are in the home section, kind of like the utensil section. We're going to trace these cute little flowers I found online, and we're going to take two different shades, the pink, the purple, and the golden tone. And then the little circle in the center of each flower, we're just going to use a different color, and that way they complement each other. So we're just going to trace with the carbon paper, cut with my scissors, and then as easy as removing the back, just like a sticker, and then placing them on the cutting board. Now, you can place them wherever you want, or you can even make more flowers. It's whatever you want to do. I'm going to place them towards the bottom left. And again, we're just going to remove the back and add them like stickers, and then add different tone or shade, a color of the center. And that way, again, it just complements each other. Now, for the top portion, I feel like something was missing. I found these wooden love pieces at Dollar Tree in their Valentine's aisle. They come 3 in a pack. I've already used 2 of them. I'm a little obsessed with them at the moment. And I'm going to use my last one. I'm just going to hot glue it towards the, I don't know, maybe top left corner, just wherever you want. Use your imagination. Now, this could be a plant holder. This could be a jewelry holder, little knickknacks holder, whatever you want it for. But I think it's gorgeous. Such a fresh look. But let me know what you think of this one. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to go to the glass aisle at Dollar Tree. We can find these mason jars. They come in a small and large size. I brought home a large one, and we're going to remove the lid because we're not going to need that right now. We're going to wipe it well. Often these are sitting in the shelves for a while and they collect dust, so make sure you wipe it so that the clings can attach it very nicely. This Happy Easter little banner cling is so adorable. I thought it was perfect for this craft. I'm going to try to center it as best as I can right there in the center. Now, because these are meant to go on windows, you don't need Mod Podge. They attach perfectly to glass. I'm going to add these foam Easter eggs right inside of the jar. Now, you can use whatever you want, or you don't have to fill it in. It's up to you. Dollar Tree has beautiful designs of ribbon currently out for spring and Easter. This bunny one is so adorable. I'm going to cut off a piece, wrap it around the thread on top of the jar, and we're just going to make, again, just a simple knot. If you want to make a bow on this one, go ahead. I just wanted to keep it simple. I'm going to cut off the excess ribbon, and I'm going to add these greenery from Dollar Tree. Just spread it open, and then we are going to add these purple flowers also from Dollar Tree. We're going to have 3 of them. There's something about threes when you are making arrangements. And then we are going to add a tiny little purple flower right there in the center of the knot, just to cover the knot and just bring everything together. Look how gorgeous this is. It took absolutely no time. It's so gorgeous, so beautiful. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For the next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with this wooden house that you can find at Dollar Tree. You can find these wooden pieces year round, and I'm just going to remove the sticker because we're going to keep this one on the one side nicely done, and we're going to work on the back side. I added adhesive spray to the back, and then we're going to cover it with this beautiful craft paper. It's from a book I got at Michael's a long time ago. Once attached, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife to remove the excess paper from the edges. And then we are going to sand down. I'm going to use a nail filer, but you can use a sanding block. This is going to remove that little tiny piece of paper that just can't get close enough when you are cutting with your X-Acto knife. And it's going to smooth out the edges and make it very flush, and it's not going to fray on you. Once it was completely attached, we're going to take this Happy Easter cling. I'm going to be very honest with you. I was not a huge fan of the blue with the green. I think I should have picked a better craft paper, but nonetheless, we are going to work with it. I added a layer of Mod Podge to the back, and we're going to place it, removing any bubbles as possible. See, I'm not a huge fan of that shadow around it, but it worked well. Now, Dollar Tree has these little carrots every year for Easter. Love working with them, but I'm not a fan of the little, stick in the top. The green part. So I'm going to pull them apart, but be careful because look what happened to me. So just hold it really tight and pull it. We're going to make it a little nicer. We're going to add these 3 pieces of faux boxwood. We're going to add a little bit of hot glue and just attach them to the top of each. We're going to keep this craft on the simple side. We're going to add the carrot to the top. The first one we're going to add right in the middle, nicely straight. Then the other 2 we're going to add to the sides at an angle shape. That way it's just going to add a little bit of character. But look how stunning this looks. Now, I know I'm not a fan of the blue with the green, but I think it works a little bit, But let me know what you think. I'd love to know your opinion down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with this glass jar. You can use any jar you want. I really like the neck of this jar for some reason. I don't know where I got this. I think I want to say it was a long time ago at Target Dollar Spot. I'm going to wipe it with an alcohol wipe. This one was really grimy, and I'm going to dry it really well. We're going to add several of these clings right towards the bottom of the jar. This is a beautiful picket fence cling. And then we're going to add a couple extra little flowers to the side of it just to kind of extend the design to the sides. How cute and how easy it is. Just peel and stick them. Now, I want this to be a flower arrangement, but with a little bit of a twist. Oh, I also added a bee. So cute. All right. So Dollar Tree has these little eggs. They're so unique. I thought I'm going to make an egg arrangement. So I'm going to take 3 of these. At first, I thought I needed 6 of them, but it was way too big. I'm going to take 3 bamboo skewer sticks, and we are going to hot glue them inside of each egg. We're going to add a dab of little hot glue right on the top, thread it from the bottom all the way till it touches the top. Just wait a couple seconds while it hardens, then add hot glue to the bottom so it really secures it in place. And I did the same thing with the other 2 eggs. So easy and so fun. All right, so now we are going to add Spanish moss inside this jar. This was a task. So I grab a pencil. The eraser of the pencil really helped to really push it in. So just take your time. You don't even have to do this. You can use sand or sugar, anything white, anything you want, or not add anything at all. But I thought it looked really cute. All right, so now we're going to place the eggs. I'm going to add one higher than the other, and I'm going to cut as needed so that it has that nice arrangement look. I decided to add some faux boxwood. This is just going to hide the skewer stick, and it's just going to add fullness and greenery and freshness to the entire arrangement. And I think it turned out so adorable. I love that it's an egg arrangement, but I love that the eggs are so different, so textured, so unique. Let me know what you think of this one. We're going to start with this foam ball. You can find these at Dollar Tree in different sizes. This is one of the larger ones. We're just going to also use one of these balloon sticks. These are the kind where you can put a balloon and then stick them on the ground or in a vase. I'm going to cut some of it. I'm just going to leave about a 10-inch piece, and then we're just going to put it right inside the foam ball. We're going to secure it with some hot glue, let it harden for a little bit, and then we're going to cover it with some moss. We're going to create a topiary, and I think you're going to love, love, love the way this one turned out. Be very careful. The foam does melt quite rapidly with the hot glue, and it gets hot. Let me tell you. So anyways, just cover it up really carefully. Use a silicone finger protector like I have if you want. All right, so once everything is covered, it's looking like a little cute little guy, with hair on top. All right, so we're just going to make sure that everything's nice and compact, and then we're going to add florals. Of course, we want this to be a topiary. Remove any excess moss, and then I like to push the leaves on my flowers all the way to the top. That way it's going to get the most of it, and it just fill in that topiary. So we're going to cut off all of the flowers, leaving about an inch from the top. And we're going to add hot glue and then just start placing them. Now I start placing them here and there, kind of like evenly separated, just to create a pattern. But don't worry about that. Just put them wherever you want. I wanted to add more colors, so I did add this pink ones, also from Dollar Tree, and they are gorgeous. They complement the yellowish, greenish ones beautifully. I'm just going to fill in some of those bare spots wherever I see them, and you can add whatever else you want. This little glass jar is actually from Target Dollar Spot. I got years ago. I still had it laying around, so I'm going to use it for this. I'm going to cut off a foam that's going to fit right inside, but not fall through. So it's going to be really snug. Once I had a size that will fit, I'm also going to add a little bit hot glue in the rim and then just push it in. I'm going to push it with my fingers, and then I did have to kind of like pound it a little bit with my wire cutter just to get it in there. All right, so now we are going to place the entire piece right inside very carefully so it doesn't push it through. But then once inside, I am going to secure it with hot glue. To cover up the foam, I am going to add some of these leftover leaves and other picks that I had, and that way it's going to be nice and flush. All right, so these stickers are gorgeous. They're 3D butterfly design, and let me tell you, they're beautiful. I'm going to add this one that complements the entire design beautifully right in there with some hot glue, and look how gorgeous this looks. Definitely one of my favorites, which is probably why I put it first. Love the colors, but what do you think? Let me know it down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take one of these hanging shelves from Dollar Tree. Now, these are the large ones. I am going to use 2 of the smaller ones. They come together in a pack. Remove everything from it, including the rope and the rings. They are a little bare and a little rough to the touch, so we are going to sand them down just a little bit to remove the splinters. Once we have that, then we have to wipe them really, really well. I do want to stain them, and you can use any stain. You can also paint it if you want. This is just a style that I decided. So I'm going to take my Waverly Chalk Paint Antique Wax, and I'm going to stain it, and I spilled it, my friends. Ugh. So of course we're not going to let it go to waste. So you know what I did? I just grabbed it straight from the cutting mat. And we're going to reuse it. Why not? All right, so I'm just going to stain it, and it just takes a few minutes to dry. I put it under a fan, and it works marvelously. Again, use whatever color stain or whatever paint you want. Once they were dry, we're going to sand them very softly once again to smooth them out, and once again wipe them so that every dust is removed from it. Now I want to create kind of like a barrel shape, and then we are going to make some horizontal lines, 2 of them, 2 on the top and 2 at the bottom, with a metallic silver marker. This is going to give it that barrel look. I love the way this turned out. I would love to know what you think of it though. All right, once everything was set and dry, we're going to hot glue one of these foam rounds right inside, kind of like creating a sandwich. We're just going to hot glue it from the top and the bottom, making sure that both wood pieces are nice and even. Once it hardens, we're going to take jute string. We're just going to thread it through the holes. Since they're already there, might as well use them. So I'm just going to make a couple of ties on each one. Once I had all 4 of them nicely tied, just cut off the excess, and now we have a cute little barrel style. How cute is this? All right, we're going to add florals, of course. We're going to take some of these from Dollar Tree, push the leaves upward, and cut off, leaving about between 3 and 4 inches. It doesn't matter. It's going to go right into the foam. I'm going to add hot glue to make sure they're going to stay in place. And we're going to add these pink ones, some blue ones, yellows. We're going to add all kinds of stuff. Now, this is a great project to do, to use all of those like leftover flowers you have from other projects. This is the kind to use. All right, so now we are going to bring in the sticker that we're going to use for this one. These have a beautiful vintage style. I'm going to take this horizontal thin one, and I'm going to place it right there in the upper right-hand corner, and I think it turned out gorgeous. You can use any florals you want. If you don't hot glue the florals, you can change them from season to season. Let me know what you think of this one. This next Dollar Tree DIY craft, I want to take this beautiful sticker set. It's perfect for Mother's Day if you want to create a custom gift. Now, I love that they're clear because they are perfect for what I'm about to bake. These dry flowers I got from a maker studio, but Amazon does carry these. They have beautiful purple tones, and I do have them in my Amazon store, like I said earlier. So if you want to check that out, it is linked in the description box. All right, so we are going to cut one of these laminating sheets. I also get this on Amazon because we don't want to waste it. We only need a little bit of it. I'm going to take this circular sticker and place it kind of where I think I want it. And then we're going to start placing some of the dried flowers. Just create whatever pattern and design that you want, but have fun. I love using these dried flowers. All right, so at this point, I'm not sure if it's going to work because we, of course, have to laminate this in the heat. And I don't know how the sticker is going to react, so let's see. All right, so once I have the design where I want it, we're just going to cover it up. And we're going to bring in the laminator. This is also from Amazon, and it's so easy. It's a Scotch brand, and you just want to place it. Now, it goes really slow, so I'm going to speed it up for you. But I want to show you the process because at this moment, I am praying, my friend. I don't know how that sticker, if it's going to melt or not, but it didn't. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. All right. So I like to put it through twice. I don't know why. I was taught this way. I put it through and then I'm going to cut off the excess because we are making a bookmark. I love creating bookmarks, especially as gifts. And this one for Mother's Day is gorgeous. Look how beautiful this looks. This is the perfect sticker to use to create this clear bookmark. So we're going to cut off the X's and we're going to angle cut those top edges, poke a hole on the top, just like a bookmark, I guess. And then we're going to thread a beautiful lacy style burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree. And we're just going to simply knot it. We don't need to make anything fancy. I think this is gorgeous. The fact that it's clear is so unique, so custom, great as a gift. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments. I'm going to start with one of these boards from Dollar Tree. They come framed, planked. They're gorgeous. You can find them in different shapes as well as year-round. I'm going to remove the bead portion from it, but we're going to keep it because we're going to use it. I'm going to bring in this alien tape. I was just recently informed about this alien tape I got on Amazon. I cut off a piece of it, and I'm going to use one string of these LED lights. I drilled a hole on the bottom right corner, thread the strings of light through it, and then I'm just going to attach everything using the alien tape. It's double-sided, it holds significantly well, and it is clear. It is awesome. So I'm just going to start attaching the LED lights in front of the board, kind of like all around the edge and then somewhat towards the center. We're creating a spring lighted decor piece and I can't wait to show you how it turned out. All right, another thing that I am going to use is these flexible cutting boards from Dollar Tree. They come 2 in a pack. They are great for crafting. I'm going to use one of them for this craft and we are going to simply take the board and we're just going to trace it onto the cutting mat. I'm going to use my pencil and then my scissors to cut it. I went online and I just found a clip art of a daisy, printed it in black and white, and then I'm just going to cut off the X's from around, and then we're going to take this beautiful teal color vinyl from Dollar Tree. We're just going to cut off a piece that's large enough to fit the daisy. We're going to flip it to its back, and then we're going to tape it in place and place some carbon paper. You know I use this technique all the time. If you do not have a cutting machine, this is a great alternative. If you do have a cutting machine, don't worry. I have a craft that we're using one just to kind of see how the Dollar Tree vinyl does. We'll see. All right, so we are just going to cut off the daisy all around. Again, simply cutting all around. And then we are going to just place it in the center of the cutting mat. Just remove the back just like a sticker and place it as centered as possible. We want to place this, and then we do want to have that middle portion of the daisy, the circle. Now, you can cut off a circle in any color you want, but I do have these cutouts that you can use. I got this on Amazon and I love using these, and then you get a perfect little circle. Why not? So I'm going to remove the back from it and place it right there in the center. How gorgeous is this combination? All right, so now that we have everything together on the mat, we're going to hot glue the mat onto the board. Simply add glue to the edge and place it right on top. If you need to trim the mat a little bit more, go ahead and do so. It's okay. Now you do see the glue through the mat because it is a little bit of a see-through material. So we're just going to cover it up using this beautiful ribbon from Dollar Tree. And we're just going to hot glue it all around that edge. All right, so we're going to bring in those beads again. We're going to remove the string that it came with. It's just a little too short. We're going to thread white jute string right through all of them. We are going to place this on the back, so we're just going to simply add hot glue, place the string on both sides, and then we're just going to add a little bit of masking tape just to finish it off and make it nice and clean. We're going to flick it right back to the front, and we're going to add some greenery, of course. We're going to add it to the top. Now, we're not adding any florals, no flowers, because we already have a daisy on the design. So I'm just going to add greenery and just kind of make it very disguised so you don't see the glue. That way, it lights up beautifully. I love it, love it, love it, love it. That's why it's first. Love anything that lights up. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. DIY craft. We're going to start with this piece of scrap wood. It was in my garage. I cut it to about maybe 13 inches, something like that. It is a little rough. It has nails sticking out. I think it used to be a shelf. I don't know. I pounded with my hammer those nail tips, and then we're going to sand down smooth the entire board. Now, I do want to add a little bit of paint on those edges just to make it look a little bit more finished. So I did add Waverly chalk paint in the white, and of course I let it dry. We're going to use this reusable stencil from Essential Stencil, and these are one of my favorite stenciling brushes. Love, love, love them. I get them on Amazon, and yes, they are on my Amazon store. I'm going to use Waverly chalk paint in the ink, dip it in the paint, remove any excess, and then just do the round and around motion. I'm not even pressing on my brush, okay? I'm just letting it glide until it's completely stenciled. Look how gorgeous. All right, we're going to take different color vinyl from Dollar Tree, and we are just going to cut the shapes of some vases, some flower pots. Now, don't worry about the shape. Just do whatever shape you want and whatever color you want. I'm going to do blue, pink, and yellow. And we're just going to kind of dry fit them first, and then we're just going to place them just like stickers. Because there's a lot of color in the vinyl, we're just going to keep the greenery green. We're just going to hot glue them in place and add as needed so it looks nice and flush and just very 3D. So I wanted to line the pots with a marker. Now I have this thin tip marker. It was not thick enough. It was just too thin. So I stopped, and then we're going to grab the larger tip and we're just going to trace them. You don't have to do this. You can keep it as is, but I just thought it needed a little trim. So we're just going to line the vinyl of each flower pot. Now you can add rope, you can add ribbon, you can add whatever you want to hang it. Now it is thick enough wood that you can just stand it up, and I just left it like this. How adorable is this? Everything on a budget, either from Dollar Tree or just simply a board I had at home. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to start with this piece of scrap 2x4. It was in our garage. Again, we have a lot of wood. I'm just going to use it and sand it smooth, remove any dust. And now we're going to bring in some yellow paint. This is Artisa paint, and we're going to give it one coat all the way around except at the way bottom, because this is going to be a tiny little block sign. Now we're going to use some vinyl from Dollar Tree. This is in the black. We are going to use the Cricut here, okay? But you can do the exact same thing we did with the carbon paper. But I really wanted to try. I wanted to try how the vinyl from Dollar Tree would stand up to a cutting machine. So I grabbed this design actually from Cricut Design Space. It's of a bee. I connected my Cricut Joy Extra, and I am going to put the pressure on less. That's the key, okay? Don't keep it at default. Don't put it at more. Just keep it at less pressure. Now we're just going to place it, and we're going to let the machine do its thing. Again, if you do not have a cutting machine, it's fine. Do the carbon paper. All right, so we're going to remove it, and this is the first time that I see that the machine did not go through the paper. I have used Dollar Tree vinyl on my Cricuts, and they go through. This one did not. I was pleasantly pleased. All right, the paint is dry. We're going to just dress it just a little bit using my electric sander, and then we are going to place some clear vinyl right over the bee and transfer it onto the piece of board. Again, I just want to see how this vinyl really does with all of these materials. We're going to attach it to the clear vinyl. It did great. We're going to attach it to the piece of wood. At first, I thought, okay, is it going to stick? Is it not? Is it going to be pulled when I pull the clear vinyl? It didn't. It did really well. I'm very happy. All right, we're going to place one of these felt pads underneath so it doesn't scratch any surface. And we're going to cut it into 4 pieces and add one tiny piece in each corner. And that way it's going to be nice and protected and safe for all surfaces. And I got to tell you, very happy with how the vinyl did with the Cricut cutting machine. And again, if you don't have one, that's okay. There's plenty of things you can do without a cutting machine. But for those of us that do have it, this is a great alternative. We're going to start with a wood round and one of these decals that you can also find at Dollar Tree year-round. We're going to take the decal, we're just going to dry fit it right in the center. And then we're going to tape off that middle section because I want to paint that middle section white. This is where the decal is going to go, and I want that to be in the background. So I'm just going to give it one simple coat of chalk paint, and this is Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. Once it was completely painted, I'm just going to remove the tape, of course, and I am going to use my heating tool to quickly dry it. This is a great tool to have if you just want to do some things quickly. But anyways, I'm just going to dry it, and then it's time to just sand it down just a little bit. If you use chalk paint, you know what I'm talking about. It could be a little rough to the touch, but no big deal. A little light sand smooths it out, and I did sand everywhere else as well. Here's the first wallpaper we're going to use. It has a beautiful brick design, and it is such an easy thing to use. You just basically peel and stick. I'm going to fold it in half long ways, and we're going to cut it. This is what we're going to use to cover the top and the bottom of the wood round. We're going to remove the back so easy, just like a sticker, and then we're going to cover again that top and bottom with it. Once it was nicely attached, I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to remove the excess paper. You can also sand it down. Now, I decided to remove it with an X-Acto knife first, and then once that second one was done and over with, I am going to use my sanding block to remove any excess small little portion of the paper remaining. This also allows it to have a very smooth edge without it fraying on you. Now we're going to move on to the decal, and this is a beautiful clear decal. We're going to remove it again, peel and stick it right there in the center. Doesn't it look gorgeous with that brick design? Oh my gosh, I love this wood round. All right, so now we're just going to make sure that that decal is nicely attached, and we're going to add some greenery. We're going to keep it pretty simple. I found this greenery, I believe it was at the store at home, and I've been using it for years now. I keep pulling from it. Now I took this little vine style one, and I'm just going to attach another smaller one on top, and I'm going to drape it towards the right side of the wood round. I'm going to make a couple of marks and drill a couple of holes. This is because I want to attach it by tying it with jute rope. We can also hot glue it, but I just felt it was just so much easier to just tie it. I did add a little bit of hot glue eventually, but tying it in the back really helped it to just really be secure. I tied it in the back with a simple knot, cut off the excess, and then we're going to add this beautiful sunflower. Just a pop of yellow color really complements the design of the decal. We're going to remove the stem, add some hot glue, and just put it right there, right where everything kind of meets, and that's about it. What a gorgeous design. Such an easy way to update this wood round. Love the wallpaper, love the decal. What do you think? Let me know. This next Dollar Tree DIY craft is such an easy one. This is a leftover wood that I have. If you don't have one like this, you can use this one similar to the previous one, but a little bit smaller. And if you want it a little shorter, you can always make a cut. Now I do have this scrap wood, so I'm just going to lightly sand it. It was already painted. It was from a previous project. I'm going to lightly sand it to smooth it out, wipe it really well because I want the wallpaper to really stick. This beautiful design has a very modern look. I'm going to cut off a piece, and of course, we're just going to cover the front of it. So just take the wallpaper or the paper from the wallpaper from the back and then just place it right on top. Once you press it really well, you do want to remove that excess paper, and once again, we're going to use my electric sander to do so. And here I am just going to pull those sides, and you can just see how smooth they come out using the sander. And you can use your sanding block as well. The edge also distressed just ever so lightly, and it gives it that cute little distressed look. Love, love, love it. For this one, I decided to spray the top with this clear top coat. You don't have to, okay? I just wanted to seal it in because I want this to be a very functional hooks, and I want to make sure it lasts. I'm going to flip it over once it was dry, and I am going to attach 2 of these sawtooth hooks to the back. Again, it'll be a nice and easy hang on the wall. And you want to do that before we add the hooks, of course. Making sure that I am measuring to make sure that they're going to be nice and even. And that's it for this one. What an easy project. What an easy way to reuse this scrap piece of wood. I love the style. I love the colors. Again, this one's kind of modern, and I love, love, love the way it looks. So functional. Let me know what you think of this one. This beautiful Live, Love, Laugh decal has such bright colors. It is screaming summer, but a lot of times we don't want to put these on the walls. We just want to make something with it, display it, and then maybe change it for the next season. So I'm going to show you. We're going to just peel it just like a sticker and place it on a piece of cardboard. This is just out of a box from a shipping that we received. We're going to remove the other one and we're going to align it as best as we can so that you don't see that seam at all. We're just going to flatten it out and make sure that it is nicely stuck to the cardboard. Of course, we are going to cut off the excess cardboard, and I'm going to use my favorite blade knife. I got this one on Amazon and I do have it on my Amazon store. Oh my word, it is the best. I actually changed the blade because it just needed to be changed and it cuts like butter. Anyways, it is linked down below in the description box if you want to check it out. Okay, so I'm just going to speed it up here for you, but we are just going to remove all the excess cardboard, and it wasn't hard. Again, I just recommend you have a nice sharp blade knife, and of course be very careful when you are cutting. Once I was done cutting off all of the excess, I'm going to sand down the edges with my sanding block. You don't have to do this. I prefer to do it because it really creates a nice smooth edge flush to the actual cardboard, and it gives a little bit of dimension because it kind of distresses those edges. All right, I dusted it really well, and I'm just going to make it a little bit 3D. Now, you can leave it like this. You don't have to add these florals. I'm just going to add different color florals from Dollar Tree that complements the entire design. This is going to make it pop, make it very 3D, and you can add as little or as much as you want. Or again, just leave it as is. I added some leafy greens to the bottom, not all the way because we don't want to cover up the words. This is looking so magical. I love the tropical feel of it. We're going to cut off another piece of cardboard. This is so that we can create a piece that we can put on the back and be able to stand the decor. So I folded it into threes, and I'm just going to hot glue it in place, and I added an extra little piece for reinforcement at the top, just like this. Isn't this gorgeous? Now you can display this beautiful wall decal, but you don't have to place it on your wall. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we're going to take this wooden family word. You can find these at Dollar Tree, I think, year round. I'm going to paint it using this beautiful green tone by Waverly. It's their celery, and I'm only going to do the front. I'm not even going to try to paint on the edges and on the inside. You know, those little, yeah, it doesn't work very well. So I'm just going to do the front very carefully that it does not drip on the sides. I did 2 coats and let it dry. It looks gorgeous. So we are going to add decals. Now this decals I used in a different project and I had leftover, so we're going to use it for this one. I'm just going to remove it again very carefully because they can rip. They are made out of paper. And we're just going to place the first one towards the bottom right corner. Once it's attached very nicely, I'm going to flip it over, and then using my X-Acto knife, again, the sharper the blade, the better, and of course, be very careful. We're just going to cut off the excess as close to the edge as possible, but don't stress about it because we are going to file those using my nail filer. I'm going to cut off the inside as well, just so that, again, we have the shape of each letter. I'm going to add the excess one from that decal and add it towards the middle upper portion and do the same thing. Remove the excess, and then we're going to do a final one on the other side. As I mentioned earlier, I am going to file down those edges with my nail filer. Again, you can use your sanding block, but the nail filer really gets through those little corners that are tight. So I'm just going to do it in a downward motion once again, just to smooth the edges out, give it a little bit of a distress, and it looks so beautiful. I'm going to dust it really well, and now we're going to antique those edges. You can leave it as is, though. You don't have to do this part. You can skip it. I am going to use a sponge brush in my antiquing wax by Waverly, and we're just going to do the edges. Just very, very little antiquing wax. I'm going to use a rag to remove the excess from the brush, as well as the excess on the piece. This is just going to mute it and really remove anything that just doesn't need to be there. And I'm going to do the entire word. Dollar Tree sticker aisle is perfect to find crafting items, and I love using these stickers. Now, this one that we're going to use is gorgeous. It has more like a pearl tone. I don't know how to describe it, but they do stick and it goes perfect with the design. So I'm just going to add 4 of them just here and there in the different tones just to add texture, a pop of shiny color. And I honestly think that these little stickers brought everything together. I think it's gorgeous. What a beautiful way to use these decals. Love the way this family wooden word looks. Let me know what you think down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, you can find these wood blanks at Dollar Tree year-round in different shapes. This one is a heart-shaped and I loved it. I got it for Valentine's Day and I had it left over and I said, let's do something fun and girly for my daughter. I'm going to use Waverly chalk paint in the wine. We're going to dry brush it. I still want to see a lot of that wooden tones, but I just want to lighten it up just a little bit. Dry brushing simply means you add a little bit of paint on your brush and then you just brush very lightly. Just dry it. It's like literally dry brushing and it dries really quick. I'm going to take off any excess paint that dripped on the edges and then I'm going to lightly sand the surface just to smooth things out and of course remove all dust. I am going to paint the beads in this beautiful blush pink by Rust-Oleum chalk paint, but I'm going to do every other bead just to add a touch of color because it will match and actually will bring everything together once you see the decal that we are going to use. Now this decal, of course, is one that you can place on your wall. It has a cute little bear, but I want to use these hearts. I love the tones that it has, and I'm going to place them from the bottom to the top, working my way up on that right side. I'm going to start with the larger hearts and then keep going to the smaller ones. Once the hearts were attached, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife and cut off that little area there where it's planked. I do want to keep that planked look. So I'm just going to cut on both sides and then just peel it off. This is just going to clean it off and really just make it look nice and professional. Very, very pretty. Although it's not really needed, I did sand down just a little bit those little edges in there in the planked area because I just felt like it needed it. I'm going to add some leafy greens. These are just ones from a pick that I have from Walmart. I'm going to glue 2 of them to the left upper side and add this beautiful pink flower right there in the center. It brings everything together. Love how feminine this is, how beautiful and gentle it is. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. For this next Dollar Tree DIY craft, we are going to take this poster board pack and use 1 of them. They come 6 in the pack, and I love that they come already cut for me. I'm going to fold 1 of them in half, and then we're going to cut off a little bit from the outside, just about 1.5 inches, and then about 4.5 inches from the top. We're creating a fun greeting card. I love creating these with decals because it is just fun to make greeting cards for your loved ones. This Laugh Everyday decal, it was part of a larger one, as you can tell, but I had it left over. I'm just going to cut off the part that says every day, and I just love how it just sticks so perfectly and it's clear. Love it. Now this love decal, it has rainbows and beautiful colors. I'm just going to use the love portion and place it right above the everyday. How cute is that? Now we're going to cut off the edges, just kind of round them off to make it a little bit more custom, but you can skip this part if you want. Now I'm going to open up the card and we are going to place 1 of the rainbows. The colors are just so pretty. I'm going to peel it off and place it centered right there on the inside towards the bottom. Still gives you room to write a nice cute message. I'm going to then fold it and just kind of use my fingers to just make sure that decal is bending and folding where it needs to. I'm going to open it up one more time and I'm going to add 1 scripture. I love the scripture. It says, do everything in love. And you can find it on 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 14. Love that it goes with the whole theme. And there's still room to write a personalized message on the other side. Love the way this one turned out. I love giving greeting cards. I love creating them. There's such a personal touch to them. This one would be perfect for any loved one or friend. What do you think of this one? Let me know down in the comments. I have another video here for you with tons more of Dollar Tree DIY crafts. Check it out. I'll see you later and have a blessed day.